G'day guys, Fitcho here and welcome back to my MotoGP 18 career mode. Today we're here for episode number 7 and the final race of the Red Bull Rookies Cup. Today we are heading to Aragon for round 7 of the Red Bull Rookies Cup. Hopefully our last ever race in this class. I think we've done well enough to get ourselves up into a decent Moto3 ride for next season. If we do look at our career very quickly, we've had 6 races so far and it's been a roller coaster season to say the least. Started out in 10th place, got up to 4th in Mugello, back to 8th in the next round of the season, and down to 25th when we headed to the Saxon Ring, which was a shocking weekend. Then we bounced back from 2nd to last with back-to-back victories, and now we're heading into the last race of the season, sitting 5th place in the championship on 77 points. But unfortunately, one race left, a maximum of 25 points still available, which means the top 3 is out of contention. The best we can hope for in the championship is only 4th place, and that means we have to beat Philip Salak this weekend in Aragon. He's only 1 place ahead of us though, so it should just be an out-and-out battle on track. We don't have to worry about beating him by X amount of positions or anything to get that place in the championship. We just have to finish in front of him on track, I would assume. Not too sure how I'm going to go this weekend in Aragon, to be honest. I don't know where I stand at this track. You know, it's a new game, and I don't really know where I stand for a lot of the tracks. I guess from previous games, I'd put Aragon into that category of it's alright, it's not my best track, it's not my worst track, I don't love it, I don't hate it. Sort of the same as the last 2 races, and they've actually turned out pretty good for me. So it could be a good weekend, it could be a bad one, I don't know. But nonetheless, our final race in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, let's go.
Hello from Aragon. There's already a lot of excitement inside the paddock, and in a few minutes, the race direction will signal the start of the customary qualifying session. The sky above us is clear, and the forecasts say that the situation will be stable for the entire duration of the session.
We are here in Aragon for today's qualifying session. We're about to hit the track and see how I go around this circuit. Like I said, I'm not sure where I stand. I've definitely got a bit of learning to do in today's qualifying session. We'll see how our times progress and where we end up in the standings. Hopefully, we can go and make it 4 poles from 7 races. Oh, I missed that corner. I saw the tarmac going further down the road and was heading down there. I forgot how quickly that turn 14 comes up on you, and that's this lap in the bin. This has been a pretty decent lap. That first lap was a 2:06 something, but of course that was in my little excursion. We said 2:02.2, 3/10 off the current fastest lap of the session. This lap's been pretty decent. It's a 2:01.3, only 6/10 off the fastest lap so far. This has been a nice lap, fastest in sector 1 and 3, and we do go pole by 3/10 of a second down to a 2:01. Ooh, that's a bit of a high side there. And I think that's actually going to do it for this qualifying session. I've been struggling to match that time that I did previously. This was the best lap I've probably put together since that pole lap, and I got one faster sector in sector 2, but I've been 4/10 off there at that last split. So while I might get pole position here in Aragon, I'm not all that happy with my pace, to be 100% honest. I can't find a consistent pace, a consistent rhythm. I've got that one-off, repair the bike, whatever. I've got that one-off lap time that I've done, but I just haven't managed to do that consistently, I guess you could say. But that's going to bring us to the end of qualifying, and we have in fact held on to that pole position of the 2:0.1. Khan, Onku and Carlos Tate join us on the front row of the grid with 2:0.5 and 0.6 respectively, so 4/10 of a second there we get pole position by. But I'm still not, like I said, I'm not 100% confident with our pace. I had that one-off lap, but I couldn't consistently do that pace, and that's sort of got me a little bit worried going into the race, especially because I know I'm usually slower again than my qualifying pace at the start of the race, and I've been struggling even in qualifying to find my rhythm. That's going to make the race even harder, but nonetheless, we are starting in the best place on the grid to possibly start. So we've set ourselves up in the best possible way for the race, but I think it could still be a tough one here in Aragon. Let's get to it.
Greetings from the Spanish desert and from the Aragon circuit, where an exciting Grand Prix is about to start. As you can see from the footage, the skies are clear at the moment, but there's still a thick layer of water on track that will give the riders a very hard time.
It is race day here in Aragon, and while there is no rain falling from the sky, there has been in the past, and the track looks saturated, and that's going to make for a very interesting race today. I have not fully experienced the wet conditions in this game yet. I've done a little bit on multiplayer when I was playing around with my friends, but that was on MotoGP bikes. I haven't experienced these Red Bull Rookie Cup bikes in the wet, and I haven't had a proper wet race out and out, because we've got a full 50% race here. I think it's 7 or 8 laps, and it's a wet track, so there's no rain falling, so this track is going to dry up, and in 7 laps, I doubt we're going to have to do flag to flag or anything in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, but it could make it quite interesting to see how the track progresses, how the water dries up, how that dry line forms, how the pace changes, how the way I ride the bike changes. So many different factors with these weather conditions, because it's not going to be like light rain where the conditions are going to be consistent through the whole race, where there's just a constant amount of water falling. The water has fallen, and now there's going to be bikes running on it and clearing it up, so this could be a very, very interesting Grand Prix. Let's get going.
We are now moving to the starting grid, where engineers and technicians are ironing out the last few details before the race starts. The final riders have taken their place on the starting grid, and everything is ready to start the race. Just a few seconds to go, and the lights at the Aragon track will signal the start of the race.
It is race time here in Aragon. Grab the clutch, revs up, plank in gear. The lights are on for the final round of the Red Bull Rookies Cup season. And it's lights out, and away we go. And I had a horrible reaction time there off the line, but our start wasn't too bad in terms of our actual launch compared to what we were doing at the start of the season. And we are getting bullied out wide there at turn number 1. Back up the inside of turn number 2, we're going to go on Dennis Onku, and we've lost 5 places in those opening 2 corners after that shocking reaction time I had off the start, and I thought it was going to be a lot worse, but we recovered well after being pushed very, very wide at turn number 1, and now we have Xavier Artigas just in front of us. We go a little bit wide down into turn number 5 as I'm trying to learn these conditions, feel how the bike is going to respond, because I haven't actually ridden in these conditions, any wet conditions, on one of these Red Bull Rookie Cup bikes. But up the inside of Artigas we go into turn number 7. A nice move there. We lent on him a little bit. We get that move done. Now back into the top 5. Up next is the championship leader, Adrian Carrasco, as we head down to turn number 9. A corner I really do... Oh, I was getting a little bit of a bump there, and that just gave me a little boost of speed as I was getting on the power, and I almost lost the rear end there. I thought I was about to have a big high side, but I controlled the wheel spin quite nicely there, but that's just meant we've lost touch with that top 4 as through turn number 11 we go. It hasn't been the worst start or worst opening lap in the world, considering how bad that reaction time was and how new I am to these conditions, as yet again the bike looking to get away from me, of course, running on no traction control. Even in these low powered bikes, in these conditions, I'm having to think about the throttle just a little bit. We've had a nice run through the first sector. Can we look up the inside of Carrasco down into turn number 7? A little bit forceful there. We push him out wide and get that position now up into 4th place. And there is our championship rival, Philip Salak, right there. We have to finish in front of him on track to claim 4th place in the championship. And right now, where we are now, we will not get that 4th place. He's going to score more points than me by being in front of us, so we need to catch him and pass him if we want that 4th place in the championship. And that's going to be easier said than done, because we have Adrian Carrasco coming back up our inside down into turn number 12, but I'm later on the brakes, and I hold on to that position. I should say, of course, I was already in 4th place. He's the one attacking me, and I hold on to 4th place for now. But we're about to come through turns 14 and 15, and then onto the back straight, and that's where things will get interesting with a little bit of slipstream. I'm going to have to worry about Carrasco from behind, but that was a nice run through those 2 corners. I've actually got a little bit of separation between myself and Carrasco in 5th place, and now we can try to focus our attention on that top 3, and specifically Philip Salak, our championship rival, right there in front of us. I am definitely carrying more speed through turns number 2 and 3 than Salak, and now we are right on his rear wheel as we head down into turn number 5, early on the power, as early as we dare. Try to get a nice run through 6, and can we look up the inside at turn 7? We made 2 nice moves here so far, I think. Can we get up his inside? That's very late and aggressive, and we don't quite get there. It was worth an attempt. Oh, we've got a nice run on the exit, and around the outside we go, and we do move ourselves onto a podium place just in front of him. But this is what I was worried about. Down here at turn number 9, I really struggle, and Philip Slack picks our pocket there and takes that 3rd place back. Try to get back under him as we head into turn number 10, and we do so, back into 3rd place. But I'm not convinced we're going to get a nice run out of here, especially if we're going to bobble around on the curbs there and it's a bit of a run up to turn 12. We could just look back up our inside, but I am pretty confident on the brakes down here, and Carrasco couldn't get up my inside, and we do hold on to that third place. We've gotten past our championship rival, and if the race were to end as it is right now, we would take that fourth place in the championship, I'm pretty sure. Coming up to the line to end lap number 4 of 7, and we are past the halfway point of today's Grand Prix, and I'm trying everything I can to try to catch up to that front 2, but it's proving quite difficult. Only 3 laps to go here, and it's getting quite difficult here, I won't lie. Because it's a wet track and not raining, different parts of the circuit are drier than others depending on how much, the bikes have run over them, and the sun and evaporation and whatnot and drainage for lots of different reasons. And it's just proving a little bit difficult to know how much grip is at different parts of the circuit. When every time you turn into a corner, every time you go on the power, to know just how much grip is there at your disposal. It just makes it a little bit tricky. 2 laps to go, and we just set the fastest lap of this Grand Prix, but it was only 0.2 of a second faster than that front 2, and the gap is still out at over about a second, I believe. With 2 laps to go, we are not quite closing fast enough to get into contention for the top 2 places, I don't think. Another fastest lap, 0.3 quicker than Khan Onku, the race leader, but we are now onto the final lap of this race, and there's still a little bit of a gap between myself and that front 2. It's going to really take a miracle for us to get close enough, I think, to launch any sort of an attack for those top 2 positions. But I do have a nice flow through this first sector. I am really, really quick here, and this is our only chance is to gain all our time here and then start to put them under pressure. We've definitely closed up to Carlos Tate just there in front of us. A little bit too much wheel spin coming out of turn number 5 there, and that could just hurt us. The gap is down to 0.6 of a second down to turn 7. We've gone in a little... Oh, no. No. Get back on the bike. Get going. No. There goes Philip Salak. There goes our podium. There goes Carrasco. This is not good. This is not good. All the way to the last lap, and that's when we come unstuck. Oh, we need to get past Philip Salak to hold on to a podium and 4th place in the championship. This is going to be really tricky. I always struggle through turn 10 here. Struggle to get a nice flow through there. We've lost a little bit of ground. This is all going to come down to that final straight, final back straight. A big drag down to the last corner. Get on the power as early as I dare there. He's going to flick back right through. Oh, okay, that's way too much curb. That is way too much curb. How have I not been thrown to Narnia and back just then as we're getting... Oh, someone's getting very, very close to our rear. Oh, we are bottling this so hard. We are bottling this so hard. Oh, we have Artigas to worry about right behind us, and we're not going to be close enough to get past Philip Salak. No, I've done everything right in this race. I was chasing down the leaders on track for a podium, and I've gone and thrown it in the bin on the last lap with a big high side. I think it was turn... No. Oh, the rear end is getting loose through that final corner. Oh, no. That is not what we wanted. We were on track for another podium position, and we've just gone and thrown it all away right at the end there. Oh, I am filthy with myself after that. We had 4th place in the championship in the bag, and we went and thrown it away. But Khan Onku has won today's Grand Prix. Carlos Tate in 2nd, and Philip Salak, where we should have been there, in 3rd place. Adrian Carrasco 4th, myself in 5th place. My fastest lap at 2:04.6, only a 1/10 of a second slower than Khan Onku, who went on to win the race. But I was a solid 0.4 quicker than Salak. I was quicker than him all race. I was pulling away from him as I was chasing down the leaders, and then just one mistake. To be fair though, if this was real life, a big high side like that, I would not have been able to recover to finish in 5th place. Thank God the game just chucks you straight back on the bike, and I didn't feel any damage despite that big crash. So I guess that is a positive. Thankfully it's a game and not real life, because that could have ended a lot worse. But that is not the result that we wanted here in Aragon. We had a podium in the bag there, and I went and threw it away in a desperate attempt to try to win the race. And here are the final championship results, and Khan Onku has gone and picked Adrian Carrasco's pocket and taken the championship. I thought Carrasco had this in the bag. He won the 3 opening rounds of the season. He was on a max point of 75 after the first 3 races, but the next 4 have just not gone his way, and Khan Onku has fought back and actually taken the championship. Carlos Tate finishes there in 3rd place, 10 points back. Then you have Philip Silak in 4th place, and myself there in 5th, ending up 6 points back off Silak. We could have beaten him, but no, I fucked it up. We're still top 5 in the championship though, and I will take that considering how poorly our season started. We got a 10th, a 4th and 8th, and then back to 25th. But then that back-to-back wins in Misano and the Red Bull Ring really helped our championship. And another decent result here with 5th has boosted us up into 5th place, and hopefully we can get a decent ride in Moto3 next season. Our reputation, we have got a lot of reputation, 1,266, and I assume there's going to be an end of season bonus and like a 5th place in the championship bonus in that huge sum, because normally even with a race win, we're only getting about 500. In terms of our attributes and stuff, level 46 on absolutely everything as it stands right now.
Today's result was very positive, as you can tell from the mechanics' reaction in the pit. Of course, there's still a little more to go to make the podium, but they are definitely on the right path.
5th is a decent result, but it could have been better. That's what's annoying me. I was sitting there in 3rd place, and I went and threw that in the bin. So that brings us to the end of the Red Bull Rookies Cup season, and after all that, our total reputation is on 2,963, and it's going to be interesting to see what doors that opens for us next season. You've received offers from other teams. Do you want to see them, or do you want to stay at Red Bull Rookies Cup? We definitely want to see what offers we have in front of us. We can head to Petronas Sprinter Racing in Moto3. We don't have any Moto2 rides, so only Moto3 available for us. Let's see what other teams we have here. We'll quickly scroll through them. I'm not going to read them all. So we don't actually have that many rides available, and there's available to us, and there isn't actually that many good rides. None of the top rides are particularly available to us. If we look at the team performance, this team could actually, Marinelli Snipers team could be actually the best, looking at the team performance. Initial trust is for every team is pretty much at the same level, just above dismissal. Decisions right now. Right, after looking at all the offers, I think I'm going to go with Marinelli Snipers team. They've got Tony Arbolino as their 1 rider at the moment, so they'll make it a 2-rider team. They're riding on a Honda. In past games, I've gone for the KTM option in Moto3, so let's do something a little bit different and jump on the Honda. Their required championship position is 10th, and their team performance actually looks quite respectable. It's one of the best out of all the offers we have, so let's go and sign with them. Are you sure you want to sign with Marinelli Snipers team? You will not be able to change team until the next transfer window. Yes, we do want to sign with them. Trust and objectives. Now that you've reached the world of racing that really matters, you will have to continually show your value, remaining ahead of your team's expectations. You will be given 1 qualifying and 1 race position objective every week. Furthermore, each team also expects a minimum position in the Riders' Championship, satisfy their requirements to reach first rider status, and receive more bonuses. Bike development. Improve your performance by developing your bike to suit your riding style. Every weekend you will earn development points, which you can use to improve aspects of your vehicle. Every team has a certain amount of research and development set aside for your vehicle, but you'll have to decide how to use your resources to get the best out of your bike. There are 5 development areas which you can work on: engine, brake, suspension, chassis, and aerodynamics. Each one of these can be improved in different directions. Spread your resources wisely, as there is a limit to how much you can improve an area, independently from the direction taken. Go to the bike development section straight away to start. So we have a few different emails from our personal manager just introducing us to the new team, saying our objective is 10th in the championship. Another email about team objective. The teams periodically reassesses their objectives during the season. If you meet their expectations, your reputation will improve, allowing you to be noticed by better teams. You can find all the information on objectives in the calendar page. First rider, now you've made it to the categories that count. You should know that every team has its own internal hierarchy. keep achieving your objectives to become the team's first rider, so you will have more opportunities to develop your bike, plus more visibility and therefore reputation. Become first rider entails some risks. You will be asked to always be one step ahead of the rest. And then something about bike development. In order to be competitive at this level, you'll need your bike performing at its best at all times. To do this, go to the bike development section and start giving instructions to your mechanics on what direction you want to take. You can develop 5 areas of the bike, each of which has 2 different directions to take. To proceed with bike development, you will need development points, which represent knowledge of your vehicle's current problems and the possible solutions. To obtain development points, try to push the bike to the limit, obtaining good positions in qualifying sessions, in races, and in development tests, which take place during free practice. So it looks like we do actually have tests to do in free practice, so I'm going to have to switch to a full weekend, I think, from now on to get those done so we can actually develop our bike. Now, I'm not going to delve into the bike development just yet. I think I'm going to actually look at that at the start of the next episode when we start the Moto 3 season. But we have finished the Red Bull Rookies Cup season, we finished in 5th place, and we have graduated up into the Moto 3 category with Marinelli Sniper's team on the Honda. Hopefully, we can put together a decent season. They're not the best bike in the Moto 3 field, and I kind of like that I'm not on the best bike in the Moto 3 field, or one of the best bikes. In the past, I've usually gone for the Red Bull KTM, one of the best bikes there is, and not being on the best bike just puts a bit more of a challenge in front of us. And I didn't perform as well as I maybe should have in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, and in response to that, I haven't got as much reputation and didn't get the best ride in Moto 3, and I think that's a really nice system they've put together. And now we have a decent challenge in front of us if we want to drag this bike up to the front of the field. But next time out, we head to Qatar for the opening round of the Moto 3 season, and I'll also be looking at the bike development. That's going to do it for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, of course, make sure you leave a like. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe for much more MotoGP 18 content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.